Hello everyone. Today we will talk about female astrology. But first, let's discuss Parashari. Because all branches have originated from Parashari, whenever we do 4 feet, we always start with dedication. Which planets are in the ascendant, the Lagna, and its links to houses, signs. We examine which houses those planets rule and conclude the native's personality. Which houses those planets rule, where the moon is placed, and where the moon sign and other details are located. We conclude the native's personality is influenced by their thinking process and female astrology today, and so on. Today, through female astrology, we will see how we judge the native's personality and his environment. For example, if we need to assess someone's profession, then the 10th house, the 10th lord, and the 10th significator become very important. What's in Nadi astrology? The term significator is crucial. In female astrology, Jupiter signifies life. They give importance to that only and read the chart by making that only the base. In female astrology, Jupiter signifies life, used as the ascendant for natives for profession. Saturn is the ascendant. To know about a native, use Jupiter. For profession, use Saturn. For wife, use Venus. If we want to know about someone's profession, we will read the chart using Saturn as the ascendant. If we want to know about someone's wife, we will read the chart using Venus as the ascendant. For the husband, we use Mars, the ascendant. When I said that, to know about someone, we need to use Jupiter as the ascendant. Jupiter made ascendant. So if someone's Jupiter is in Scorpio and Ketu is placed there as well. So this placement of one planet, one slow-moving planet in one sign, along with one slow-moving planet, will last for a long time and will impact many people. Everyone's personality is not the same. We are also different, even if they were born just one day ago. So how do we differentiate in this? If I want to know about someone's work, Saturn ascends. What are the rules? There are rules after making right. In female astrology, it is believed that the planets sitting in a trine aspect influence each other like a conjunction. Not just the planets sitting together, the planets in its trine will also act like a conjunction with it. Planets like Moon or Mercury in Saturn's trine bring changes and communication, expect work changes, and travel. Mercury suggests a communication career. The 2nd and 12th houses are crucial. Planets in the 12th. So we would say that there will be very frequent changes in the way you work. There will be travel, or it will become difficult to work in one place for a long time. And Mercury could relate to your work in the communication business. So who do they give importance to? They give importance to the 2nd and 12th houses. Now, any planet sitting in the 12th house with Saturn will represent your past karma in the sense of how people pushed or pulled you when you started your work. If the planets sitting in the 12th house are friendly to Saturn, like Venus, then the ladies in your life were there to help you because they are friends. And if Venus has good dignity and is strong, then this will resonate even better. But the most important thing is that if any planet moves to the 2nd house from Saturn, it can override the trine because conjunctions reflect our present, showing our current environment. The 12th house talks about our past, but the 2nd house talks about our future, where we are eventually heading in life. If Saturn is not finding good planets in its 2nd house, it will become more burdensome. If the planets are Sun, Mars, or Ketu, which are naturally malefic and do not maintain friendship with Saturn, then that is not a good sign. Even if there are good planets like Venus or Mercury in Saturn's trine, that is just your present situation, working, money is coming, people are helping you. But ultimately, what ultimately matters is that you are not getting anything in your hand. If you have the Sun in Saturn's trine, it might be that the sun is not in good dignity, or the sun is combining with other planets to strengthen Saturn, then right now you are in trouble. But if there is a good planet in Saturn's second house, we can say good things for the future, and how the planets in Saturn's third, seventh, and 11th houses will impact Saturn through aspects. I haven't mentioned houses anywhere in this, as it is believed that Nadi astrology does not consider houses, and one placement lasts for a long time. So it won't be said the same for everyone. There are limitations to the case, and it cannot judge well. In Nadi astrology, houses are not used either. When I talked about significators, we will consider the significator as the ascendant. If the significator is Jupiter, which is the significator of life, we will look at who is in its second, third, and fourth houses and how your relationship will be with that relative. Let's talk about Jupiter today. No, female astrology, Jupiter is considered significant for males, while Venus is given importance for females. If we consider Jupiter as significant for both males and females, then for ladies, Venus should also be looked at to understand their inner attributes and traits. Now, if I consider Jupiter as the ascendant and we talk about the moon, if the moon is in the second, third, or fourth position from Jupiter, what can we say about that? I have made Jupiter ascendant. You will also focus on the sign. For example, if Jupiter is in Sagittarius, then it is in a fire sign. Add the traits and personality of the native. For example, when Jupiter is in Leo, it makes you a bit showy, but it also makes you charming, which are the traits of Leo. They will come into the personality of the native. Now, the moon conjunction with Jupiter. The moon Jupiter association is always considered good. Mohanagar is here. The lot is of ships was not given here. Just because you have made Jupiter the ascendant, it can be anywhere in your chart. You take that sign and make it the ascendant, like if Aries is rising and Jupiter is in the 7th house in the sign of Libra, then Libra is your ascendant, and start reading your chart. We will see. Now, how is the moon positioned in relation to Jupiter? All these planets are observed in relation to how they are positioned with respect to the sun and how Mars is positioned with respect to Jupiter. Today, let's talk about the moon, especially if there is a Jupiter-moon association. In this, we will also talk about the mother because the moon signifies the mother and Jupiter represents yourself. This means that your personality, character, and behavior will be greatly impacted by your mother. The mind is also your own, the moon, and then Jupiter represents your self-focus. You want to focus on yourself, the good or bad. Moon is a factor for change, so there must have been many changes or travels in your life. A stagnant life either doesn't feel good or isn't good. You might have a fondness for dairy products, for eating and drinking, and for sweets. You will feel that way too. If Jupiter is in the second house, because the second house stands for eating, which is related to the mother. Let's discuss the mother. The mother can be a bit relaxed. Jupiter is about fulfilling social involvement, duties, how socially interactive we are. Jupiter holds a lot of importance in that. So the mother can be socially involved. Now let's talk about it. The moon is in the second house. This shows that your finances tend to be a bit rushed. It means that the inflow and outflow are very high. I don't have a savings account, but the current account is always active. The speech is fast, soft, but may also be unreliable, making it a bit difficult to believe what is said. Because the moon is also considered a factor for lies and deception, which relates to appearance, since the second house looks at the face. It can be variable in the sense that one day you look very good and presentable like the moon. One day it's a full moon, and the next day you might look a bit average. The probability of getting married might be high. Why? Because the second house stands for family, and a fast-moving planet has entered there, so marriage could happen quickly. However, there might be some differences of opinion with the mother, because Jupiter and the moon are sitting together twice. The mother might spend on Jupiterian things. Why? Because Jupiter is in the 12th from the moon, and the 12th house signifies the mother, who is being controlled by Jupiter. Because Jupiter is in the 12th from the moon, and the 12th house signifies the mother, she is being controlled by Jupiter. Jupiter in the 3rd house affects. So the mother's sibling, Jupiter in 11th house, big uncle, likely, mother's network, religious, arrival, boosts income. Jupiter in the 11th house boosts your mother's income. After your arrival, your mother's incoming gain was expected for good. Because Jupiter is in 11th house ascendant, so the mother's finances have improved. Your relationship with your mother can be a bit friendly because the 3rd and 11th houses indicate friendship. Your short distance travel can be influenced by that. Moon in the 3rd house suggests travels. Short trips may involve your sister, or you become emotionally connected, feeling emotionally happy. Whenever you take a short distance travel, you might have a younger sister with you, and you will talk about this more. If moon also gets feminine zodiac sign, where does your mind stay? If Jupiter and the moon are in the 3rd house, creativity and learning bring happiness. When the moon is in the 3rd house from Jupiter, allegations may rise. But one more thing to keep in mind is that when the moon is in the 3rd house from Jupiter, the chances of allegations increase significantly, and something that you haven't done, because the 3rd house also stands for college and the moon stands for blame. So you might face that if you've done something, or maybe you haven't, but the probability of being blamed increases. Keep that in mind. If the moon is in the 4th house from Jupiter, then houses and cars can change frequently. It could change 34 times. There will be cars, but the chance of moving houses will rise. With the mother, there's an emotional connection related to property, cars, and a fondness for white things. It could be about getting white cars or painting the house white, which brings happiness to the home. The placement is very good for nurturing. You will see your mother is your guide. Your mother will be projected as a guide, as a teacher, because Jupiter is in the 10th house, mother. If the moon is in the 5th house from Jupiter, then where is your mind? In learning, hobbies, and education, that is giving you happiness. There is a high probability of where the first child will be, who it will be, and it will likely be a female child. This is supported by a female sign, where the mother's belief system can be very strong, both good and bad, because Jupiter is in the 5th house from the moon. Here, you can see that we are using the significations of the planets, signs, and houses. If the moon is in the 6th house from Jupiter, then the mind is focused. The native can learn very quickly to tackle diseases of the skin, and recovery is also possible. The illnesses could be related to cold, cough, and hormonal imbalance. The mother can be expected to have a long and healthy life because Jupiter is in the ashram from the moon. The probability of the mother passing away suddenly will decrease because Jupiter will not do anything sudden now. If the moon is in the 7th house from Jupiter, then the partner will be good looking and youthful. Ali has the possibility of managing because this is a fast moving planet that creates emotional bonds. However, the involvement of the mother in your marriage could be significant. It's possible that your mother might show you a proposal that you find appealing, whether it's a girl or a boy, or your partner behaves like a motherly figure. That your wife feeds you all the time. You behave like your father. You should be doing this, you should not be doing that. It could also be like that. If the moon is in the stem from Jupiter, then the relationship with the mother can be a bit transformative or intense. The mother may either specially incline you or be the cause of your mental trauma. The sign will be very important in that where is your mind when it comes to finding out secrets, bringing them out? The eighth house tells us how our death will be. The second and seventh houses are related to our death, but they indicate a situation of death. So if Jupiter is in the system with the moon, and you see a connection between the moon and the ascendant or the moon's placement in the chart, then you can say that death could happen during a time of travel near a water body, or due to the influence of water in the body. It could be because of a water-related disease. If Jupiter is in ninth house ascendant, curious about people, culture, you explore the people, culture, and philosophy when there is a feminine influence in your higher education. Education linked with the moon might involve a mother who has instilled her religious or spiritual belief system. Moon-related education may be involved in your higher education. It was mother who included her religious or simply spiritual belief system. The travel that you are doing can be auspicious, or your luck can lead to your downfall. Good. Jupiter mon friends. So here we will talk about our increased man in luck. If the moon is in the 10th house from Jupiter, Saturn is key for work. You might stay in one company for a long time, possibly on 11 projects. We need to consider this because I'm telling you, Saturn and Jupiter will stay in one sign for a long time. So we should also look at which zodiac sign is in the 10th house from Saturn. It's important to see which sign is placed there. So if the moon is in the 10th house from Jupiter, your working style will be such that you learn to adapt to changes. You might find yourself in one company for a very long time, possibly working on 11 different projects, but you might get bored easily. In your career, you face ups and downs if this is supported by the placement of Saturn as well. Mothers or mother-like figures have a significant influence on work and building reputation. The reputation can also be fluctuating. Jupiter is in the 4th house from the moon. Now, mother's house can be bigger. The mother will receive happiness from the family. She will have all the comforts and conveniences because Jupiter in the 4th house from the moon is a very good placement. If Jupiter is in the 11th house from the ascendant, then the probability of being the eldest is higher. The social network might be more feminine, but it may not be consistent. It could change frequently and fluctuate. It's like friends coming in and out of your life. The friends you had in childhood are still around, but it might get a bit challenging. Your engagement in groups or social network circles could be influenced by maternal figures. There will be a younger brother of the mother because the 3rd house from the moon indicates that you might have younger maternal uncles. The mother's travel is a short distance journey, which could be related to religious matters. The hobbies of the mother can revolve around Jupiterian themes. Here we are talking about the mother as well as the native. If the moon is in the 12th house from Jupiter, then again, because this is a placement of 2 and 12, wherever the placement is 2 or 12, there can be differences in opinions between the mother and the native. You might prefer isolation and solitude because that's where your mind is. Your mind is in travel, in exploring. The moon in the world also shows some kind of concealment. The losses and expenditures can be hidden or unaccounted for. But the placement of Jupiter from the moon is very good. Therefore, the mother will receive support from the family. The mother horn will receive wealth in abundance. As we say, similarly, you will look at any planet from Jupiter. Let's say if there is an association between Jupiter and Mars, if they are in conjunction, sitting together, Mars are links to accidents, surgeries, although they are both friends. Mars is still the significator of accidents, so it indicates accidents and surgeries. It shows that your behavior tends to be a bit direct and straightforward, like an army type. Maybe they don't take time. Maybe they don't think to merge before displaying. You should pay attention to projecting yourself. If you also get a fire element sign, now if Mars goes into the fourth house from Jupiter, it's great for property, but not so good for mental peace at home. If other combinations support it, then the probability of fire incidents happening quickly in the house will increase. Similarly, you can create a chart with Jupiter and blend all the planets with their houses and signs to see what is happening in the native's life. So the gifts of women's astrology are also important for the house. Thank you so much.